Alright guys, this is the Courtside Soundoff podcast
I'm
today.
not surprised,
It's going to be a big
motherfuckers.
one. Wilder Fury 2, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, this Saturday. Now we're not going to start there. We still have to talk about the NBA All-Star game. The All-Star week as a whole, controversy coming out of that. UFC Rio Rancho to go over a lot. Probably one of the weirdest fucking cards I've ever seen. UFC Auckland, which is also happening Saturday, but nobody's talking about it, in a very under the radar lightweight fight between Paul Felder and Dan Hooker. We're going to play a game. We're predicting all of the UFC end of the year champs through every single weight class. Before we get that, we need to go back to UFC Rio Rancho, which I just said, one of the weirdest UFC cards I've ever seen. The main card itself had 2 disqualifications, which made it, I believe, the only card in UFC history where there was 2 DQs on a single card, or it was like there's only been a few ever. And DQs are extremely rare. It tends to be a no contest, or they just let somebody fight on to get their ass kicked. But, you know, Brock Weaver got a DQ, versus Kazula Vargas, an extremely illegal knee. This one was super, super clear. He got knocked out by it. And Diego Sanchez versus Michel Pereira, which we'll get into. But before that, we'll start off with the main event. Jan Blachowicz, his career return around just continues, knocking out Corey Anderson. He has now won 7 of 8. With wins over Jacare, Luke Rockhold, Corey Anderson, Jimmy Manuwa. The names go on and on and on. His current streak is amazing. The only fight he lost was against Thiago Santos in the 3rd round after being up 2 rounds to nothing. He's looked amazing. He's looked tremendous. I was shocked. I picked Corey Anderson to win that fight, but, you know, Jan he looks so damn good. Now, I know, Andrew, I know you're not surprised. You actually took the lead in the Soundoff, picks, end of the year picks, which we're going to do, by picking Jan to win. But overall, what did you think of his performance in the main event?
Oh, it was nice. I mean, obviously, there was, to a certain extent, I mean, I wouldn't say there was luck, but, obviously Corey came into the punch, he set up for it, he reacted, and it was a clean-ass shot. Obviously he saw it. I mean, it isn't luck, it was just him, being aware of the situation and, dealing the damage when the time came.
Do you think that he's potentially ready for that matchup with Jones?
I mean, anybody who's going to fight John, is anybody really ready? I think, I think that's the real question: is anybody ever really ready to fight John? This is someone who who's gotten away with some stuff his whole life, in and out of the octagon. And, hopefully he can make a good name for himself. I think John's had a lot of his last 2 fights, I mean, so close, questionable, controversial, but I think if there's a knockout, I mean, is there any controversy, right? I mean, it's kind of cemented, right?
Yeah.
So, can Jan recreate this? Can he keep going forward? I mean, I'm pretty sure quite a bit of his last wins are mostly finishes, right?
He's had a few finishes in there. I think it's like half and half.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a decent split, right? It's not bad. So I mean, going to the Jones fight, I hope he at least makes a good performance. I mean, he has, obviously the dominant one, the Thiago fight. I mean, he has some big shoes to fill in on what was left behind, but I think he's been giving a good road and good path to, go in and show, something of himself. He's getting up there in age now, 36, but, I mean, when you're a bigger guy and in a bigger weight class, I mean, that isn't too much of, it isn't the biggest factor, but, this is probably, I'd say he's probably not that far out, but he still looks good. He looks in good shape. He doesn't look like he's really slowed down. He looks like he's, going up. So, I mean, this is a good opportunity, and the time is now, and I'm happy to give it to him. Now, I mean, at least if the UFC decides to.
Yeah, personally, we were talking about it before the podcast started, but I think they're going to go the way of Jan versus Jones. I think he had a great performance. He got the knockout. I don't know if he's talking trash, but he was posing and he was talking to Jones after. There was a great image that was posted on ESPN about is Jan next for Jones, and it seems like we're just going to pretend that the Reyes fight never happened, because in MMA fans and in the public eyes, really it's just whoever is the hot face. And Reyes, did I think he won? Yes. Do the majority of media think he won? Yes. Do the majority of fans think he won? Yes. But in the judges' eyes of those three people out in Houston, Texas, they're the only ones that matter. We don't matter. And so technically John Jones still won. He beat Dominic Reyes. And now Jan Blachowicz, he got a highlight reel win over a guy in Corey Anderson who had lots of people talking. The general consensus was Corey wins, he might get the title shot because him and Jones have bad blood. Instead, Jan Blachowicz went in there, straight KO'd him bad. That hammer fist was from hell too. He put him out with that one. That was a bad knockout. And before that, obviously the Jacare fight was terrible. That was probably the worst fight of last year. I can't believe I actually stayed up watching that fight, but regardless, I did. Before that, he knocked out Luke Rockhold. Before that, obviously, Los Santos, but then the Krylov submission, dominated Manawa, dominated Cannonier, and before that, Devin Clark win. So the guy, he's clearly in a position where, like, if Dominic Reyes had not gone out and arguably beat John Jones, there'd be no conversation at all. But I wouldn't have a problem with him getting a title shot, but personally, I would like to see Reyes, just because I think it'd be more competitive. That's just my opinion. Diego Sanchez and Michel Pereira, I was hyping this up for a long time. To basically anybody that would listen to me speak. Diego Sanchez is literally insane. The guy, he's been around since The Ultimate Fighter 1. He's fought at featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, which he's currently at right now, and middleweight. He's not even a big guy either, which makes that so impressive. Right now, he's probably in the weirdest stage of his career, which says a lot. He has one coach. That guy has pretty much no credentials to be doing anything around a cage. School of Self-Awareness founder Joshua Fabia is in his corner. He's the only cornerman for Diego Sanchez. And he was fighting Michel Pereira, who, if you know anything about that guy, he's also insane. He does backflips, kicks off the cage. He does everything that, like, Anthony Pettis did for the highlight reel, except to, like, not success. But regardless, it's still super, super entertaining. Watch every single time this man fights, which is why he was in the co-main event slot, despite the fact that he lost last time out. And, I thought Diego was going to win this one. I thought he was just going to utilize his grappling. I thought that, he's a more experienced guy. I thought Pereira was going to be doing some crazy shit. Instead, he was a lot more restrained until that third round, where he illegally kneed Diego Sanchez in the head. And really, my question is, the conversation I really want to start is, like, did Diego Sanchez quit? And do you have a problem with it if he did? Because he was down 2 rounds to none. He pretty much, said that he made a veteran move decision by not continuing to fight with 2 minutes left. Do you think he quit? And do you have a problem if he did? Like in a sport like this?
I mean, your health at the end of the day is all that matters. That's someone's son, that's someone's, father, grandson, whatever, right? A friend, name it, right? So, you got to think about those things in life, not to get too deep. Obviously, he has plans to continue in the sport. So, I mean, that's stuff that you got to think about. Sometimes you need to worry about yourself more rather than what other people want, and those other people are, in this case, the fans, whoever. And and it's understandable. Yeah, it sucks the fight didn't get to continue on. Maybe who probably deserved to be the winner didn't win. But the knee came in, and it was a knee, right? It was another brutal knee, right? If I remember right.
Yeah. Big knee.
So there's a fault on the other side. If you didn't throw that knee, that doesn't happen. Mistakes happen, accidents happen, I get that. But sadly, this one, led to this happening, and this is the outcome, and, this is how we deal with it, and this is how the rules are set in place, and this is why this was allowed to happen. And, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, honestly, for me, it comes down to the fact that Diego Sanchez I'm not going to talk about his trainer, because his trainer's, he's a snake oil salesman, and I'm not even going to really talk about that. It really sucks that Diego got stuck with a guy like that, but if there was a guy that was going to fall into that, it was going to be Diego Sanchez anyway. But I think whenever you're a guy like him who's been around in this game for so long, he's been in so many wars, if there's a single human being who will ever get a pass from me, it's gonna be Diego Sanchez. That guy's been through so much. He's been fighting for almost 20 years now. That guy's been in so many freaking wars. If he's losing a fight and he knows he's losing a fight. By the way, the most intelligent decision Diego Sanchez has done in quite a long time was getting out of this fight. In a sport where, you get paid whether or not you win or lose, Twitter warriors are not going to pay your bills. Taking that W in that situation absolutely will. And I think it's a problem that, we kind of put fighters in that position where we ask them, are you going to continue? We're literally asking them, hey, do you want $98,000 more dollars? Is that what you want? But the fans will hate you for a couple of days. So, but analysts are going to go on and lambast you for quitting for a couple of days. Is that really what you want to have to deal with? Which is why I said Anthony Smith a couple months ago, last year actually. I said he should have gone down like a bullet hit him when John Jones hit him with that illegal knee, because he lost out on millions of dollars. And that, yeah, sure, was it the honorable decision? Yeah, but guess what? Honor doesn't pay the bills. Diego Sanchez taking that knee helps pay the bills. Taking that win helps pay the bills. So I think that I have zero problem with it. If Diego Sanchez quit, I don't care. If he did, did he quit? I don't know. I don't really think it matters, because, we should be mad at Michel Pereira for throwing the illegal knee and putting that position in Diego Sanchez's hands, rather than being mad at Diego Sanchez for taking the win. Why do we get mad at people for being illegally hit with shots more and, not continuing than people that actually throw the shots? It's insanity to me. But that's pretty much what there is. That was a big talking point coming out of the card. That and obviously the main event. Now we move on to UFC Auckland. This one's happening the same day as the other fight we're going to talk about later on in the show, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. So obviously, this one's really flying under the radar. But there's some good fights on here. The main event I think is a lot of fun. It's a lightweight fight. Paul Felder, Dan Hooker, two top 10 guys trying to break into that top 5. Both of them have looked phenomenal as of late, especially Paul Felder. In my opinion, he's looked phenomenal. Dan Hooker's looked good too, but I'd say against less great opposition as opposed to what Paul Felder's been facing. Co-main event, two light heavyweight guys that look really damn good, in Jimmy Crute and Michelle Oleachuk, who could be on the rise. And then obviously there's some fights in there. Kai Kara France is going to be a good fight against Tyson Nam. Loma Luke, wow, how do you say this girl's name? Loma Luganby versus Angela Hill should be good. And then obviously my fight I'm looking forward to a lot, Jake Matthews, Emil Weber, Meek. But obviously we're going to start off at the main event. Paul Felder, Dan Hooker, Angel Ortega. Who do you got?
This is let me say this. I don't know if you disagree with me this, but I credit the UFC because they will always put me in this position. Another close fight, right? I truly believe that. I think I believe there's common opponents. Weirdly enough, when I see them, they kind of in a way remind me of each other, even though because of the beard now. I mean, they don't. But I don't know why. My brain just messes with me. My man, Paul Felder, not too long lost to my man, Mike Perry in a close fight. It's all good though. Stuff happens, shout out to the boy Mike Perry. And, Dan Hooker also, recently, both on very recent, fight win streaks. I'm torn apart here, just cause I wanted to happen and cause Conor called them out, I want to see Paul Felder win this fight. For some reason, called out the guy on the desk, but I think it's funny, and I kind of wanted to happen just for that. I'm thinking for entertainment. Sometimes I just want to be more entertained than, caring about these power rankings. I would love him to call out Conor on the mic as a joke, for fun, because we can do that in the UFC.
Well,
and things can happen.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be that crazy either, because, he called, I read something earlier this week that apparently, obviously Conor called him out. He was like, even that little fool at the desk, and I guess Paul Felder said after he was leaving the cage, he looked at Paul Felder and said, "Fuck you" to him, and I'm like, what's the beef there, guys? Anyways, I love Paul Felder. I love Dan Hooker. This fight's gonna be amazing. You look at the recent fights. Ally Quinta got dominated by Dan Hooker. Amazing performance there. James Vick got KO'd by Dan Hooker. Obviously, Paul Felder also beat James Vick. He beat Barboza, avenging one of his defeats. He beat Charles Oliveira, which I believe Charles Oliveira's last loss. He TKO'd him in his guard, which anything about Charles Oliveira and his jiu-jitsu, that's an amazing feat. He's won, I think you can argue that he won that Mike Perry fight as well, and if he did win that, he would be on like a 6-fight win streak right now. I don't think he did, but regardless, it was arguable. It was a close fight. Dan Hooker, obviously he's on a 2-fight win streak. Before that, he got one of the most ruthless beatings I've ever seen in a fight against Barboza. He got just completely annihilated in that fight. I'm going to take Paul Felder here. I think it's a really, really tough one to predict just because these fighting styles, they're both very, very unique in terms of like their fighting style and their stand-up game. It's really, really tough to kind of predict because I think if it goes to the ground, I'd give a slight edge to Felder. But even then, it's a tough one to predict. But I think I'm going to take Paul Felder. I think I like the way he's been looking lately. His Barboza win has aged very, very well. I think that was a really, really good win for him. To move on to the co-main event, we generally try to predict the main and the co-main. This one's a tough one to predict because it's two very much guys that are not in the top 15, or if they're in the top 15, they're barely there. Jimmy Crute, the Australian man, the prospect, the 23-year-old from South Wales, taking on Michelle Aldiachuk, who is 24, also a very good prospect in my opinion. 14-3 versus 10-1. Aldiachuk has wins over Khalil Roundtree, John Vellante. Oh my God, they got to stop having people with weird names in the light heavyweight division. Godzilla Antigulov. He knocked out, but then in his last fight he lost Ovin St. Preux via Von Flue choke. There's no issue with that. OSP's been around forever. Jimmy Crute, on the other hand, he got in via the Dana White Contender Series. He beat Paul Craig via submission. He knocked out Sam Alvey. And then the Misha Serkinov loss is a very competitive grappling fight. That was a really fun one to watch. Angel, close fight to pick here in the co-main. Two very young guys, two very much prospects. But is there any way that you're leaning, any person you're looking towards?
I mean, it's hard, the both very young, not a crazy amount to go off in the UFC.
But, gun to your head. You gotta pick one.
Oh, man.
I will literally shoot you right now.
You're gonna shoot me?
Right now.
I mean, oh, man. I'll lean the Jimmy route, I think I'll lean the Jimmy route, but it's a hard one. I'm sure, we'll hear these names again in sometime in the near future just because they're just so young.
Yeah, and to me, I think this is a really smart fight to put in the co-main spot because people are going to be turning around this time to go ahead and, obviously see the main event, and they're going to see this co-main event, which obviously they're not highly rated guys, but one's 23, one's 24. They have a lot of potential, and that's what I'm really excited for. Jimmy Crute, obviously black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's got a lot of credentials. I'm going to take Michelle Aldiachuk, though. This guy came into UFC. I was I thought he was going to get murked, honestly. Whenever he faced Khalil Roundtree at UFC 219, but he dominated that fight. He has a solid chin. He has good jiu-jitsu. He has great striking. And, his last fight, the Von Flue, losing to OSP is not a big deal at this point. He's very much a known commodity, former title challenger. I'm not going to hate on the guy. For losing that one. So yeah, I'm gonna take, Aldiachuk here. I think this is gonna be a close one. But I'm gonna go with Michelle Aldiachuk. And now we move on to our fun little game, sort of, which is predicting all of the UFC champions for the end of the year. I listened to a podcast called the Men in the Myth podcast with, who is Sean Al-Shadi and Chuck Mendenhall. Which they did this exact same thing, and so I want to give a shout out to them. And I've seen a lot of people do it, but they were kind of like the one that I mainly saw. And I think it's a fun thing. So we're going to start off on the women's side of things, and we're going to move up because I think the women's side is a lot easier to predict than the men's side of things. But the one division that we're going to start off with, we're going to go from lightest to heaviest, strawweight. Strawweight obviously being being defended at UFC 248, which is, what is that, a month away? Is that a month away now? Weili Zhang taking on Joanna Jędrzejczyk. But will those be the end of the year champions? Angel Ortega, who do you have finishing the year as a strawweight champ?
Dude, Weili Zhang's still gonna be up there, man.
Really?
Still on top. Yeah, I got faith in her.
Damn.
Still got faith in her. Yeah.
You have been on the train for a long time.
I'm on the train. I believe the hype.
Here's what I think, and mine is somewhat of a controversial pick. It probably is, and I'm going a bit outside of the realm of the known commodities at this point. Well, not really known commodities. This person's a known commodity. They've been around for a long time, but I'm gonna take Rose Namajunas to end the year as champion. I would say Tatiana Suarez. Tatiana Suarez is up there for me, but she still has not even been cleared due to neck injuries. Remember, she was supposed to get that shot. If Tatiana Suarez doesn't have a neck injury, which she still hasn't been cleared from, by the way, Weili Zhang does not get that title shot, and she's not the champion defending against Joanna Jędrzejczyk. For me, it comes down to I don't know if Joanna's going to win or not. I don't think it really matters. I think she nearly missed weight against Michelle Waterson. There was that whole big controversy about them trying to make it a catch weight. They couldn't make it happen. She ended up coming in 116. So she just made weight, and, obviously I really hate to attribute it to something, but, she supposedly got, implants, and she had issues making weight before that, which if you do the math, it's an extra 2-pound difference. And for a small frame at 115, that can be an issue making weight. Does she make championship weight? I don't know, but I can see that being a factor as well. I think, regardless of what happens, I think Rose Namajunas ends the year as champion. She's going to fight UFC 249 against Jessica Andrade in a rematch. And that fight was going Rose's way before she got slammed. And she looked so damn good, too. I remember that fight, dude. She looked so good. And before that, she beat Joanna twice. She dominated Michelle Waterson. She took the year off to get into the right headspace, and I think she's going to end the year as champ. I'm not sure when she will. I'm not sure how it's going to happen. I don't know who she's going to face, but I think she ends the year as the strawweight champion. Now, this one, I don't know if we really have to say it to even really give a shit to predict this one. Valentina Shevchenko, obviously the women's flyweight champion, just got announced yesterday that she will be defending her title against, who's she going to defend her title against? I just already forgot it. But anyways, does it really matter? She's so ahead of everyone. She's facing Joanne Calderwood, Joanne Calderwood, very good fighter, but do you think that anybody takes the belt from Valentina Shevchenko?
Josh, I'm going to throw you for a loop here. I have faith in Roxanne. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Roxanne, the happy warrior, Modafferi.
No hate to her. But, as weird as it sounds, there is a world where I could see her doing something crazy like that. But it's not going to happen. Valentina is so ahead of everybody. We've talked about this. We had this conversation. I think she's just insane all around. I think her striking is amazing. She's one of my favorite strikers in the UFC. She's up there with Izzy. Probably Izzy number one. She's probably number 3, and I like Connor's style, so I'll put Connor at number 2, just because I like Connor. So that's probably the order for me. But yeah, I stay with Valentina. She'll be champion by the end of the year, and for who knows how long.
Yeah, I think the fact that she's trying to be active this year. I mean, she was active last year too. I mean, she defended the belt twice in a very close time span. But it was because of how she did it. The only reason she didn't fight more is because she just kept on. She has no contenders. I think she's going to try and be active this year. I think the Joanne Calderwood matchup is going to be interesting. I think Joanne has size. I think in the clinch, she's really dangerous. She has great elbows in the clinch, man. She is great in the clinch. She's a decent ground game. All around, a very well-developed fighter. She can get finishes. She has some power, too. But overall, I don't think that really matters. I think Valentina Shevchenko is going out there. I think she's going to beat her. I think she might beat Roxanne Modafferi. I really want to see that fight. I really wanted to see Roxanne get the title shot, but maybe it'll happen somewhere down the line. Yeah, man, after Joanne Calderwood, I don't know who she's going to fight. So, anyways, moving up to women's, in case I didn't say it already, Shevchenko, automatically. Moving up, we could just do both of these at the same time, but women's bantamweight and featherweight champ. Do you think Nunes loses either one of her titles throughout the year?
God, no, there's no way. Unless they want to vacant it and because she can't defend them in the time span they want, but I don't think they'll make her do that. I think she's just, they have too much on her, and I don't think they would do that to her.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can provide a challenge for Amanda Nunes. Like we saw Jermaine Duranamy have some success, but even then, I think she got dominated outside of those few moments. Like she still lost 49-44, 49-45, and 49-46. Her best, thing was losing 4 rounds to 1. So, I think featherweight. Even I have always been somebody who's super high on girls of featherweight like Megan Anderson and Felicia Spencer. But even then, I think they're both. I think if either one faces Nunes, they're going to lose just because her grappling is so good. I think Felicia could give her some problems if she could survive that first round on the ground because she has a great grass tank and it's very phenomenal on the ground. But I think Megan Anderson gets taken down. I think she gets dominated. But she's also so huge. Like she's a giant, literally, at featherweight. She's like 6'2" or 6'3". But anyways, I think Nunes ends the year as champ, both divisions. That's if she doesn't retire or relinquish a belt. Now moving on to the men's divisions. Flyweight. Now this one's going to be defended next week. Joseph Benavidez, Davison Ferreira. I have no idea how I'm going to predict that fight a week from now, which is why it's interesting to me because those guys are so damn good, and that division's so weird. It's so up in the air, but that's why it's really hard for me to predict this one. But Angel, who do you got at flyweight?
I'm taking Joseph Benavidez at this point in time.
Yeah, I think the Davison Figueiredo matchup is probably the hardest thing it's gonna be for Joe B during this year, which is why it's hard for me to pick who's gonna end the year as champ. But I don't know. It seems like this is Joe B's time. It really seems like it. And I really, but also I got a weird feeling that Davison Figueiredo is going to get the win. But right now, I'm going to say Joseph Benavidez. Right now, this very moment, I'm going to take, Joseph Benavidez. Now moving on to bantamweight. Bantamweight, Jose Waldo taking on Henry Cejudo at UFC 250 is going to be the next matchup, which is going to be in May. Apparently, that one hasn't been finalized yet, but that's what all signs are pointing to. But after that, completely up in the air. I think Cejudo is obviously going to win that one. It's going to be a heavy favorite. But bantamweight has a lot of killers, man. Aljamain Sterling, Peter Yan, Corey Sandhagen, and even guys moving down like Frankie Edgar is going to be in that contending shot. Marlon Moraes. Angel, who do you got end of the year as bantamweight champ?
Let me tell you this. There's whoever, I'd say Henry's probably still champion after that fight. He's going to have a lot of tough guys coming after him. But you know something? They could all bend a knee to Triple C because he's going to still be the champion by the end of the year.
Absolutely wild. That's a wild pick there, especially coming off of a big injury.
Oh yeah, I know. But we'll have to see. I think we'll get a good idea of how he's feeling during that Aldo fight. I think if it's a rough one, and he wins it, I think that could affect a lot. So I mean, I think that will give us a better idea of whether or not that's a possibility or not.
Yeah. I think the Aldo Cejudo matchup is really interesting. Like I'm picking Cejudo in advance for that, but I think it's gonna be really interesting because I think Aldo's gonna try and walk him down, and very rarely do you see Henry Cejudo fight off the back foot, which I think that one's gonna be very interesting. They have to cut off the cage against a much bigger guy, and he's still coming off injury. I think Cejudo can get through that one, but at the end of the year, I think Aljamain Sterling is going to be the UFC's bantamweight champion. I look at the guys in that division. I think it seems like it's going to come down to Sterling and Yan as to who's going to get that shot. And apparently they're trying to fight in the summer. That's what they're saying. I think Peter Yan's great. I think he could be a future world champion. But right now, I think Aljamain Sterling, man, he's looked so damn good as of late. Obviously, since, even before the Moraes, let's say he beat Renan Barão, and then he lost in, kind of a freak knockout to Marlon Moraes. Since then, he dominated Brett Johns. He submitted Cody Stamann, which, with one of the 2 Sulev submissions ever in the UFC. And then he dominated Jimmy Rivera, and then he dominated Pedro Munoz. And Pedro Munoz was coming off a knockout win over Cody Garbrandt. I feel people are picking Peter Yan because he seems to be the more stylistically fun guy to watch. But I think Aljamain Sterling, like his wrestling, his submissions, he's looking great right now, and he's hitting his stride at the perfect time. His striking looks great. His kicks look great. I'm taking Aljamain Sterling down the year's champion. Featherweight's even weirder.
You think he's a better wrestler than Cejudo? I don't think he is.
Oh, no. But I think his submissions are what makes it interesting. I think his jiu-jitsu does.
His jiu-jitsu would be better. I think his jiu-jitsu will maybe go for his lack of wrestling than Cejudo.
Yeah.
Well, not even lack. He's a very talented wrestler. I mean, he wrestled in college, but you know what I mean. At this level, it's different.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't even know if he'll have to fight Cejudo to get that title. For all we know, like, Aldo's gonna get the win, and then he'll have to fight Aldo, and I think that's a terrible matchup for Aldo. So,
well, a lot of things can happen. People can get hurt. Fights can happen. Injuries happen. Life happens. Anything can happen. These are all factors that we just don't have control over.
Absolutely. Moving to featherweight. I don't know, because this is one of the few that I look at, and it seems like they're trying to make the Volkanovski-Holloway rematch, and that's something that Dana White confirmed. They're looking at that for maybe June.
But there's obviously potential.
Yeah, and obviously Alexander Volkanovski got the win over Max Holloway via a unanimous decision, but it wasn't exactly like he dominated him. People were like, he dominated him, but he won the title via leg kicks, which is a tough thing for a lot of people to watch, because it's like, yeah, I mean, he outstruck him, but he really only had the one weapon. If Max learns to neutralize that weapon, Max can get the title back. And in those final 2 rounds, you kind of saw Max started to switch stances. He went southpaw on him. He started to switch his stances a lot more. He started to check more kicks, and he won those last 2 rounds. He had the momentum. So that's why it's interesting even for that fight alone. But you look at featherweight, man, you got the Korean Zombie waiting in the wings. Angel, who do you think ends the year as featherweight champ?
Well, look, this is tough because the top 5 guys, I'd say probably Yair is probably, not there yet, but he can be in the talks for it, right? If, if something happens, they make a couple moves happen and they push him up. I think Brian has some way to go. Obviously, his fight got canceled with the Korean Zombie because, what was it, injury? Or whatever happened, I don't remember. Yeah. Zabit, the big name, for a while now. So there's a lot of things that could happen throughout the year that could change other things going forward. The thing is, though, I think the fans are deserving of and Max is of the rematch because of how the fight went, and obviously how long Max was champion, how long he defended it, how long, whatever, right? And he's just, and obviously for entertainment, I think it'll be super fun. I'm sure Max gets the belt back. He'll probably defend it once, maybe throughout the year, maybe not. I don't know what happens, but if the rematch is to happen, which I hope does, I think Max comes back and returns as champion and ends the year as champion, unless for some weird reason something else happens.
See, that's the pick that I completely understand, because I think he gets to Volkanovski. I think he has the clear edge on a lot of those guys. Like, in Volkanovski, I think he's obviously his toughest challenger. If you look at those rankings, I think Yair, it'd be Yair. I think, man, if he were to face Zabit, I think it'd be this is pretty unpopular. I think it'd be a massacre, man. Zabit gets tired by the end of round 2, man. That fight, you're not gonna get Max Holloway out of there. And that's gonna be 5 rounds of just eating punches in the face.
That'd be his first 5-round fight, right?
Yes, it would.
And we would see how he'd deal with that. It'd be a completely new thing, and Max is already used to that, so there you go.
Yeah, so he'd have the edge. And I think he'd have the edge on a lot of guys. But I'm going outside, because I really, really want to pick Holloway. Like, I really, really do. But there's something that just looks to me, like, it just says to me, this is the Korean Zombie's time. The Korean Zombie has looked amazing. He's looked so damn good as of late. Like, ever since his military time, he came back from that, and he's looked so damn good. Like, even the Yair loss was, like, on a fluke knockout, literally the last second, which you will never see again. And then he knocked out Renato Moicano in a minute, and then he took that, Frankie Edgar did not have a single moment of, like, he wasn't even competitive. Like, it wasn't, like, that was so dominant by the Korean Zombie, and I just look at that, and I'm like, this guy can knock out anybody in the division, man. I just look at him, and the way he looks right now, that guy's gonna be a future champion. I don't know if it's this year, but I think it will be.
He wants it.
I think he does, man. I think he looks so good as of late. Moving up to lightweight, this one is going to be interesting because obviously we know Khabib Tony is supposed to happen, but probably won't. And then you have Conor McGregor waiting in the wings. You have Justin Gaethje waiting in the wings. Paul Felder, Dan Hooker, they're out there. Angel, who do you think ends the year's champ?
Let me say this: the winner of that fight between Tony and Khabib, and I guess I'll be kind of giving my prediction here, which I mean I don't think will be very different from yours. Ends the year's champ. Tony wins, Tony ends the year's champ. If Khabib wins, he ends the year's champ. You know, right now I have Khabib ending the year's champ. I don't know how likely it is Khabib will fight again this year. I think Khabib might only fight once this year, if he is to win. You know, obviously, outcome, number of factors affect everything. But, oh man, I think Khabib stays as champ once again he beats Tony. Obviously I have faith. I have a lot of faith in Tony. I know you don't have as much, you know, faith in Tony as other people do, like myself. But I think he presents a lot of challenges that could be interesting, and he could be very fun. I almost want to say Tony, but I just, you know, history, everything, you know, the moment. And I have to go with Khabib continuing to be the lightweight champion of the world.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm, like, against Tony, but it's like...
You're not on the hype train.
Yeah, no, I'm not. His talent is getting beaten up in fights and somehow winning. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Edson Barboza beat him up in that first round, bloodied him up, ended up getting submitted in the second. You know, Josh Thompson, I'm pretty sure he dropped Tony, but I don't remember if he did. Lando Venado, I know for a fact dropped Tony twice. Nearly finished him in that first round. Survived, submitted him in the second. Rafael dos Anjos won the first couple of rounds, ate a finger to the eye, never was the same. Kevin Lee, honestly, that's probably the worst eye poke I've ever seen. He straight up molested his brain with that eye poke, bro.
It was never the same.
He never was. Dude, you can look up that eye poke right now. This is the most ruthless eye poke I've ever seen. Anyways, Kevin Lee, 10-8. First round against Tony Ferguson, gasses out, loses via submission. Anthony Pettis, not dross, nearly finishes Tony Ferguson in that second round. Donald Cerrone wins the first round. You notice a pattern here? Like, guys beat up on Tony Ferguson, and eventually they end up losing. Most of them do. You know, obviously, pretty much everybody but Michael Johnson has. I don't think Khabib Nurmagomedov is going to let up on the pressure. I think you look at the Kevin Lee fight. Kevin Lee dominated Tony Ferguson on the ground until he gassed out, and he had staph infection, so that's pretty much the reason why he gassed out. He passed him out so easily. Like, it wasn't even close. And people bring up Tony's ground game off his back. He has one submission off his back in the UFC. One. And that was against Kevin Lee, after I said, like, he already gassed out. So I just don't think he's going to be able to do it. I think he's going to bring some stylistic problems. And then I think Khabib's probably going to fight Conor and beat him again. Like, honestly, I don't know who he'll fight, but I know, like, after because of Ramadan is only... No way, man. I would hope. That'd be fun. I don't think he does. I think he fights one more time after Tony, and I think he wins. So.
Dude, we already know Khabib's retiring 30-0. We've had a discussion.
Yeah, we have. That's what I think. I think he's going to retire relatively soon. Welterweight is an interesting one because you've got Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal. They're set for a showdown. That's going to happen in July. That's International Fight Week. That's pretty much set. That one's going to be done. But outside of that, you have a lot of movers and shaking in this division. Conor, he said he wants to fight at 170. The UFC wants him to fight at 155. He'll factor into the mix there. Colby Covington, who knows if he'll come back. Tyron Woodley and Leon Edwards set for a fight in March. Stephen Thompson's coming off a win. Michael Chiesa's looked dominant. You got guys like Jeff Neal who've looked phenomenal. I'll let you take this one because personally I think there's a lot of people here, but who do you think ends the year's welterweight champ?
Oh man. Wouldn't it just be the perfect story for Jorge to, fight Kamaru and then beat him? And then end the year's champ. And if that hype does, I mean, I want that fight to happen. There's some hype. Kamaru's hurt. He's getting better though, from what I hear in the media. I don't know it personally. Obviously, I'd love to. He seems like a nice guy.
I thought you guys are homies.
Yeah. I got him on speed dial, Josh. I'll get him on the podcast sometime.
Nice.
But, dude, I'm so impressed with Kamaru. That Kobe fight, I thought was great. It was weird, you know. Like I told you, I felt like it was the same guy fighting the same guy to a certain extent. On some video game shit, like it was a mirror matchup almost. It was weird. I loved it though. I thought it was great. But at the same time, like we have Masvidal now in the picture. And you know something? I want a world in which, you know, the story has a great ending, you know, where the TV show doesn't have that shitty Dexter ending, and I want that ending to be Jorge Masvidal as welterweight champ of the world, and then ending his and then defending his title in Ireland against Conor McGregor for the disrespect. I don't think that would happen, but you know what I mean. I just want.
Okay, do you think Jorge ends the year's champ?
Yes, that's what I'm going to say. I think Jorge Masvidal would end the year's champ.
All right. I follow. Damn, you know, now you got me hyped for a potential Jorge Conor matchup, and I'm going to be mad when it doesn't happen. Like, the fact they didn't book that fight is just ridiculous to me. But anyways.
That's money right there.
It really is. That's straight up money. They can print money with that fight, but they're not going to. Anyways, I think Kamaru Usman ends the year's champ. I think you look at his skills, and you just overall you look at that and like just how good he's been at every single thing. Like his gas tank, he out cardioed freaking Colby Covington. His striking has looked really, it looks good. He has power in both hands. His wrestling is obviously phenomenal. I don't even know, like, if Leon Edwards wins against Tyron Woodley, he'll probably get the shot after, you know, Jorge. But even then, I think he beats everybody. He's already beaten Leon in the past. He dominated Leon in his first UFC fight. There's nobody that I look at and I'm like, damn, I think they can really beat him. Like, maybe Michael Chiesa could be somewhere down the line. But even then, I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with Kamaru Usman to end the year's champ. We look forward. Middleweight. I don't know how I'm going to predict this one a month from now. This is a lot like the Joseph Benavidez, Deiveson Figueiredo matchup, but I look at this division, and Israel Adesanya is the champion. He's defending against third-ranked Yoel Romero in a month from now. And that fight's going to be amazing. And I don't know how I'm going to predict that one. But, like, man, Israel Adesanya, does he end the year's champ?
It's a wild one, man. I mean, he's fighting. I mean, I guess we won't talk about that. That's different. That's a different time. You know, just to put it differently. I mean, I think if in a different world where, you know, certain things go a different way for Yoel, I think I maybe say Yoel. But I'm gonna have to continue with Izzy, man. Izzy's look great. He's my favorite striker right now. He's my favorite fighter in UFC to watch right now. I think he's so entertaining. He's so talented. I mean, and we talk about it every time I think he ends the year's champ.
Well, I think that Yoel Romero, the 44-year-old soldier of God. No, I don't. I would love to see it, but I think Yoel is so slowing down. But anyways. I think Israel's going to end the year's champ. I look at those guys. I look at middleweight. He's got so many challengers. Like, Paulo Costa is probably going to be next. Jared Cannonier's waiting in the wings. Darren Till's waiting in the wings.
Jack Hermanson.
Jack Hermanson. Edmund Shabazian is a bad motherfucker. I really wanted to pick Edmund Shabazian for the surprise pick. Because Edmund Shabazian is a bad motherfucker. And he's facing Derek Brunson next.
Uriah Hall on the rise, dude. He's turning around his career. I believe it.
I could really see Uriah beating Jacare next. I really could. I would be surprised.
That's 3 wins back to back, you know, and if he takes that looks really good. I hope it happens. I'd love to see the Uriah Hall turnaround career. That'd be 3 in a row. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him win either. Like, I really think he can do it. because I just maybe not win the title because at the top level, but even then,
there's some tough human beings he would have to deal with if he got up there.
Yeah, but the Jacare, I think he beat Jacare, and from there, it's open season. Because if he beats Jacare, he gets into that title talk. And I'm a giant Uriah Hall fan, just like you. I fucking love Uriah Hall, but we'll have to see. Because, he's getting up there, and like I said, I wanted to pick him as maybe an upset guy to end the year's champ. I wanted to pick Edmund. I think Edmund can do it, but there's so many dudes. Middleweight's so stacked, but I'm gonna pick for right now. I'm gonna pick Ezekiel to end the year's champ, just because I don't think Edmund Shabazian will be there yet. I think he won't get that opportunity. Light heavyweight. This one's weirder than we would have expected entering the year. Obviously, John Jones defended against Dominic Reyes not that long ago. Looks like Jan Blachowicz is going to be next. Anthony Smith is fighting Glover Teixeira. Maybe they'll get a shot somewhere down the line. Alex Gustafsson apparently he's going to be coming out of retirement. Johnny Walker's still around. Who ends the year as light heavyweight champ?
Well, something. A week ago, if Reyes would have been the winner, I would have said Reyes. But now it's John Jones. John Jones will remain champion to the end of the year. Well, until throughout the whole year, I should say.
Yeah. For me, this one's tough. This one's really, really tough because I really, really want to pick against Jones. I picked Reyes to win, and I was gonna, man, for like 3 rounds, I look like the smartest man on the planet. But here's the thing, Jones notoriously does well in rematches. But for me, I think he's gonna beat Jan. God, I have no voice today. I think he's gonna beat Jan next. And then after that, I think he's probably gonna fight Reyes. And I'm going to pick Reyes to beat him again. I think Dominic Reyes ends the year as light heavyweight champion. I'm willing to go out on the branch. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say it. I think they're probably going to do it in Vegas or something.
You think Jones is going to fight 3 times this year?
I think it's absolutely plausible. I think he fights February, July, and then probably at the end of the year in December.
Okay. That's wild. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he did that, was it last year? Or did he only fight twice last year? He fought like December, within a year time frame. He fought December, March, and then July.
I'm on it. Let me see. 2019.
Pretty sure.
It was Smith and Santos, July, March. It might have been close. Oh, well, probably the reason you think that is because he fought the 29th, December.
Of July.
20. No, December 29, 2018. Yeah, 2018.
Well, so within a year time frame.
It carried on. It carried on nicely. So yeah, he essentially fought 3 times in a year, basically at that point.
Okay, so I can see him do.
Yeah,
but I think Dominic Reyes. Listen, I don't know. I really don't know. But I think that he has the 5-round experience now. It goes both ways of well, Jones does really well in rematches, but Dominic Reyes is improving rapidly. He's improving very, very quickly. He's younger than Jones. Jones is probably going to go through another 5 rounds in that time frame. I just look at Dominic Reyes. He has all the makings of a future champion. I think his time is now. I think it should have been last week, but I think he'll probably December card. They always like doing big end of the year cards. I think that's what's going to happen. Move on to the final division. This one is also another toss up because you've got guys that are just. It's overflowing with contenders right now, which is really weird to say at heavyweight because normally there's nobody there. But right now you got Stipe and DC. They're trying to do the trilogy, but then you guys like Curtis Blades, Derek Lewis, obviously Francis Ngannou, Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Who ends the year's heavyweight champ?
Something. The Draco himself, Alexander. No, I was kidding now.
That's not a bad pick.
It's not a bad pick, but I think because of the nature of his situation, no, just because came back recently, got his first win. In reality, I think the UFC should really try to get the title moving now. They should vacant it. I'm sorry to Stipe and DC. I know they probably wanted to be a title fight, and obviously DC would fight then, retire, and whatever the outcome is, it is what it is. Because DC doesn't want any of this young blood, let me tell you that. Let me tell you this. it's for me. It's the winner of Ngannou and Rosenstruik. That's a hard ass fight to pick. Because we saw Rosenstruik do that shit last second against Overeem. Obviously, Ngannou, a fucking killer. He can just murk you. Absolutely scary on some wilder shit. Bomb Squad, little shout out there. I'm gonna say Ngannou. Ngannou for the champion for you. As much as I love to see Rosenstruik, just because he's kind of not necessarily come out of nowhere, but with that win over Overeem, and then obviously if he followed up with Ngannou, like holy shit, wouldn't that be a lead up to him getting the title or fighting for the title, and it'd just be a great way. And I just love it. And who wouldn't want the name Rosino Rosenstruik to be champ? Because it's just super fun to pronounce. But I'll pick Ngannou. I feel like it's a safer pick, just because ranking and time span and how everything works. I think that's probably my best option.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go Francis Ngannou. I look at this dude right now. He's looking like a murderer, and he's pissed off. Like this dude, somebody give this man a fight. Like he's gonna fight Jairzinho, and I think he's gonna beat Jairzinho. I really think he looks so good right now. Like he's improved tenfold since that first time around he got the title shot, and he looks so good since then. I think if he gets that chance again, he's not going to let it slip away. I think they should get the division moving because it's ridiculous at this point. The fact that we're sitting here in it's not even that he hasn't fought since then because that's not a big deal. August, February. What is that? 6 months? I'm guessing. Somewhere around there. It's the issue that they haven't even scheduled a fight, and Stipe doesn't want to fight. Apparently, I found this out. Apparently, he's been cleared, but they want to give him more time. They said he wants more time. But the UFC said, Dana White said recently, we give him a year. We give him a year before if they're able to fight and they're willing and able, but they don't want to. Right now, we give them a year. We give them a max a year. So, listen, man, I think no matter what happens, though, I think Ngannou, whether it be against DC, Stipe, Jairzinho, Curtis Blades, anybody, I think he gets that title. I think he ends the year as champ. I think he's too good right now. He's pissed off. He needs that opportunity. Anyway, moving to the NBA All-Star Week. Actual games are going to be happening tonight. We get to talk about the All-Star game. Team LeBron defeated Team Giannis. And first couple questions. Did you watch the game? I know I did. But also, was it like the best All-Star game probably, forever?
I flipped back and forth. I was on and off it. But it looked really entertaining. I saw they started playing defense. I saw there was a good, couple competitive moments. But then it was also All-Star in the weekend, and they had fun, They just messed around and had a good time. And, obviously remembering Kobe and, obviously for charity at the end of the day. So I thought it was all that, all around really just a fun event.
Do you think they should, continuing, maybe not do the same thing with Kobe this year, but continue to take steps to make the All-Star game better?
Oh, yeah. I love it to get a little bit more competitive, just because it's you have, and, obviously it can't be super competitive just because of, to prevent injury or anything like that. But I think it's you have the best of the best on the planet all on teams, all on, one court at one time. It's so insane. I mean, if you can make it a little bit more competitive, give a little bit of, bonuses and cash and into charity and give money to the guys, tiny stuff, and then obviously they could donate that money that they receive, out of their heart, because they just want to do it for fun, I think that'd be cool too, because then they would get more reasoning for them to do that, and then good publicity, good PR. I think there's a lot of room for it to grow, and I think All-Star Week can get even better. I still want that one-on-one tournament. I think that'd be crazy good to do. I think that could be fun, and and it could be friendly and competitive, and it's very unlikely someone could get hurt in that situation. Because, I'm not going to lie to you, the skill challenges is not the most entertaining thing to watch in the world. No hate to the people who compete in it. It's obviously very talented guys that compete in it. But I think between a skill challenge and a 1v1 tournament, I think I'd rather see a one-on-one tournament.
Dude, I would kill for a one-on-one tournament. Overall, I thought this All-Star Weekend was a lot more fun than normal. I think the All-Star game itself, I'll be honest, it really wasn't until the fourth quarter that shit really started to pick up. During the fourth quarter, they all started playing defense more. it seems like during that fourth quarter, it was like a playoff game, bro. Like they were tied at 155 for a while. Like they were actually trying, and I thought that made it fun. And the fact that they integrated the Kobe thing into it, integrated the charity thing into it, it made it more competitive, and I think that's dope. I think that was a lot of fun. Obviously, the boy Buddy Hield beat Devin Booker. I want to ask, did you cry when that happened?
Who holds the record in the 3-point contest? You know what I mean? It was 1 point of difference. I can't be mad about that. You know, one ball would have made a difference for either one of those guys. So it's close. It happens. They'll be back. Booker's champ already.
I mean, he's gonna be NBA champ though. So I don't think.
Yeah. You know, also now NBA All-Star Devin Booker. So it's all good.
That's true. I want to ask really quickly. I actually want to ask two things about the dunk contest. One, did you think Aaron Gordon got robbed? Which is kind of a rhetorical question because he did, but
I don't know. I think it's hard to say because they both had both. You know, it was Derrick Jones, right, and Aaron Gordon at the end, right?
Yeah.
I thought they both had great dunks. I think they both had like throughout the whole contest, both had great dunks. I felt like they should have both won. I think it was impossible for me to pick one. Like if you really wanted to push the edge towards someone, it probably would have been Aaron Gordon. But even then, I just felt like it would have been so unjust not to pick one or the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, I don't think it was as big of a robbery as people said. I think people just get upset about stuff and they say it's a robbery. I think the fact that his the Taco Fall dunk was awesome, but he also didn't clear him. I think that's part of the issue.
He would have cleared him. I think that would have been a little better. It was pretty good. I mean, Taco did move, but it wasn't like if he would have gone over him fully, that would have been insane. Obviously, we're not in there, and obviously we don't know his capabilities, but it was still a really nice dunk.
No, absolutely. I won't disagree on that.
He jumped 7 feet into the air.
No. Yeah, again, I agree. I'm just
and then some.
saying that, I think, if he straight up cleared him, he probably would have got it. If he absolutely cleared him. But, yeah, I don't think it was a big of a robbery, but I do think that he should have won. My other question, though, is I saw some people talking about this. Do you think putting Dwight in the competition was a bit of a waste of a spot? Because it seemed like he really didn't have much to offer.
I think it was just PR. It is what it is, and obviously he had bigger plans to have his dunk with Kobe. Plans changed, and I'm sure that would have been maybe a little bit of a factor. And I'm sure maybe he was convinced by certain people to do it. Maybe he had no intention to do it, but then they told him, hey, you should do it for this, and this reason, and then, maybe some friends or a friend in particular told him that he'd love to, be a part of it, and, stuff happens, and, it's just, unfortunate, but it is what it is. He was in it, and, we got to see Dwight one more time in the dunk contest.
That's true. Yeah, it wasn't. I actually thought his dunks weren't bad, which is something that kind of irritated me because people are like, oh, his dunks were terrible. I thought the one where it kind of looked like he stopped in slow motion. I thought that one was dope. That one irritated me that it didn't get any it got a 41. I'm like, I thought it was actually pretty cool. Regardless, though, I don't think it was a waste of a spot. I thought it was a good one. I thought it was pretty good. But I did see some people complaining about it, and I thought his Superman dunk, probably the most lame 49 ever. I thought it was an okay dunk, but it was probably the most lame 49 I've personally ever seen. But again, I don't think it was a big waste of spot because it got me to watch. It got me to care because I was really rooting for the Dwight comeback story. Obviously, it didn't happen, but that's all right. Was there anything else you want to talk about coming into the All-Star week and this week in the NBA? Or do we move on to the big fight?
I said outside of Darren Collison saying that he's not going to make his return to the NBA this year. That's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So obviously, kind of the big stuff happening this weekend. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. the rematch. This one has so much hype behind it, and I'm really starting to feel it, you know. We're kind of starting to really, really see it now, and we'll talk about how well it will do on pay-per-view. But it's really, really hard for me to just go out there and say who you're picking, because really, honestly, up until, I'll be honest with you guys, I had a dream and Deontay Wilder knocked out Tyson Fury in 2 rounds. So that is the sole reason I'm picking Deontay Wilder, but like, Angel, and I'll get my justification afterwards, more than the joke of I had the dream. But Andrew, who do you got in the rematch? Is there any way you're leaning? Like, why do you feel like?
I got Deontay, dude. I think they're both capable of beating one another. I think that's 100% real. I think Wilder could beat Fury, Fury could beat Wilder, and obviously both in their own way. You know, Fury outboxing him. You know, just being, and it's no secret Fury's a better, you know, purist boxer than Wilder. But Wilder obviously has this amazing gift, this amazing talent of just being able to knock people the fuck out and flatline them, you know? And, you know, when it comes to competition recently, we've talked about it time and time again. Wilder, the one who's been putting himself out there, putting himself more at risk, fighting the better opponent. You know, Fury not taking on, you know, the hardest competition to his lead up to the fight. Both of them fighting twice, you know. So there's, you know, it's not like one fought more than the other, one fought less. And, I mean, in the last fight, you know, I mean, this Wilder dropped him twice. He's tasted the power before, dude. And I mean, if you're taking shots from Otto Wallin and it's getting scary, I mean, and you're about to fight Wilder, I think you have, you know, some worries, because, you know, Wilder's no joke, and you know, and that's why I have Wilder, you know, picking for the win. I don't know how it'll end it, but you know, because for all we know, Fury gets dropped multiple times and survives again. But you know, maybe on the scorecards he goes whatever, or maybe Wilder continues his insane reign of knocking people out left and right and becoming, you know, the greatest, you know, finisher of all time. You know, when it comes to boxing, by taking out Fury.
Yeah, listen, I've gone back and forth on this, and for me, I think both guys are absolutely capable of beating one another. I think that Fury probably deserved to win last time. You know, I didn't have a problem with it. It wasn't a robbery. It seems like people, like, think that any close decision that doesn't go the way they think it should is an automatic robbery, which I disagree with. I think that the draw, like, in case you're wondering, the supposed robbery was, across 12 rounds, Fury outstruck Wilder by 13 punches. He was like 84-71. I saw the statistics this morning, and that's not including the 2 knockdowns by Wilder. If you don't see how a fight like that, obviously you're not seeing the way the fight's playing out. Obviously that's just the statistics. I recommend you go back and watch it again. I rewatched it this past week. I've looked at the statistics. I have no problems with the draw. I gave 4 rounds to Wilder. I gave 8 rounds to Fury. Add in the 2 knockdowns. That's even. That's an even split. I have 0 problem with it. But even then, I can see the way, I don't see the way Wilder won, but I can see the way you think Fury won. But it wasn't a robbery, by no means. But regardless, I think you look at this fight, and it's tough. The main thing that's a giant red flag to me is the fact that Fury got rid of his old trainer, Ben Davidson, a month and a half out from the fight. That's a terrible idea. Like obviously, I'm not the one in his camp. I don't know. And they wanted to sack him after his close fight with Otto Wallin, but it wasn't exactly like, you know, you shouldn't get rid of your whole trainer and a whole training camp 2 months out from a fight just because you had a close fight with Otto Wallin. Like, you gotta stick with what you know. And I understand that maybe you don't like Ben Davidson, but maybe you sack him after the Wilder fight.
That was his guy, though.
That was his guy.
He saved him.
Yeah, so that's just, I don't get that decision at all. And I think so close to the fight is a terrible decision. He obviously got the giant cut. I don't think it's actually going to influence the fight at all. I think you saw that Luis Ortiz fight, and here's the thing that I liked, is Wilder was patient. He felt Ortiz's power the first time around, and it looked like he was a bit hesitant, but also that's another one I rewatched. I rewatched pretty much all of their recent fights in the lead up this week. But you look at it, and it's like he was more hesitant, but he was also patient. But normally he's out there, bomb squad, and he's trying to take out everybody instantly. But he was patient. He stepped on the back foot. He's like, all right, I'm going to wait for my opening. And he waited for his opening, and he didn't even fully extend his arm to put Luis Ortiz out cold. Like, he went down like a gunshot. He went down like he was JFK in 1963, bro. Like, he went down instantly. Like, he looked dead. Same thing for Dominic Breazeale, except for that one was a little bit different because it was only in round one. We didn't get to see how patient he was. You didn't see him try and outbox the guy. And yeah, sure, he was losing to Luis Ortiz, but he wasn't really throwing much. He was on the back foot the entire time. He was just trying to land that one shot. I don't think he's going to do that with Fury, but I think he could potentially, I think he's more patient. I think he could potentially try and do that with Fury. And Tyson Fury, I just haven't seen much in his past fights to suggest that he'll get the win. And I also don't like him changing camps. I think that big cut will probably might make him less hesitant to throw. But at the same time, he's saying he's going to be more, like he's going to go out there and try and knock him out, which if he's serious, like Tyson Fury changes his mind every other day. If he's serious, he will get knocked out. Like, honestly, I think he could. Like, I think he'll get knocked out. I think it'll be bad if he tries to go out there and tries to trade blows with Deontay Wilder. I don't know why you would even try that. But we're both generally kind of on the same page. Do you think the fight breaks 1 million buys? This is one of the few co-promotions we've ever seen in terms of simulcast pay-per-views. Obviously, in my opinion, this is the biggest heavyweight fight since Tyson Lewis in 2002. But even then, that was a co-promotion. The other only co-promotion I could think of was Floyd and Manny on like that level. Obviously, Floyd Conor was a big co-promotion, but that was a little bit different. In terms of big networks, Manny Floyd was the last time this happened. Do you think the fight breaks 1 million pay-per-views? Because we kind of talked with the lead up how there wasn't really much promotion, but now it seems like it's really starting to tune up.
I personally think it will. It should. And if it doesn't, that's insane.
Yeah, I personally think it's going to break 1 million. Like, I really did think it was going to, but like since that first fight, and the fact it's being on 2 networks, like, I don't know off the top of my head how many the first one sold around, like 350,000, I think was the reported number, or 400,000, somewhere around there. And then, Deontay and Luis did, I think, 250. So, not terrible numbers, but, and obviously last time it was illegally streamed apparently by 10 million people. So, yeah, it cost, for last fight, $75, 325,000 buys. So I think it's absolutely gonna double that. Will it triple it? I don't know. I think it should get over 1 million. I don't know if it will though. I think it probably does around 700,000. 700 to 800,000 is my official prediction. But yeah, Andrew, got anything else before we bounce out of here?
Nothing. Outside of that, Ryan won his fight. Very.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Very easily. We said that was the toughest challenge of his career. He kind of laid out a little roadmap for himself. He said he wants to fight someone who was on that card. I forgot their name. Who also very talented. Yeah, very talented.
He knocked down Lomachenko.
Yeah, very talented guy. Once again, and I think that's set in stone for the most part. Like, that's going to happen. That will be the toughest challenge of his career, and then so will the next one, because I think he said he wants to fight, Luke Campbell, and then after that he wants Devin Haney. I think that's what he said. And he said, and I think that's a good roadmap. I think that competition gets constantly better, and he will be tested throughout the time. And if he does follow that, I mean, that's a good way to go. And I think you should definitely take the fights in the order that he said, and I think they'll set him up very nicely when he takes on Haney.
Yeah, I think Linares' fight's going to be a really, really fun one. I think Linares is legit, but I don't know, man. He just had his greatest challenge and a former title challenger, a really tough guy, and that's what people are like, oh, he can. I'm like, just because he's not a former champion doesn't mean he can. Like, regardless, I'm excited. I think this is going to be a really, really good one. I think Linares fight I'm already getting excited for, but I'm not sure if he's going to win that one. I think Linares is a bad motherfucker. Jorge Linares is a bad man.
Well, it's a good fight. This is now, once again, the toughest challenge of his career.
Absolutely.
And then they will only get more difficult, like we said, because then after that he said he wants Luke Campbell, and if that's true, then that will be the next biggest challenge of the year. And then obviously Devin Haney will be his title fight if he continues to win, and be the, obviously once again the biggest challenge of his career. And from here it's only up and up and up, and it gets more difficult, and it'll be tested every single time. But I think this upcoming fight will definitely show us what he's capable of, and then give us a better idea for the fights going forward.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. My point was kind of like that. Like, some people are talking about the matchup with Haney a year or two down the road. And like, oh, that one's going to be big. But it's like, Jorge Linares has wins over Anthony Corolla, Luke Campbell. He's a former WBA and the Ring lightweight champ. Knocked down Lomachenko. I don't know if he'll beat him. And, like, come fight time, I might even pick against him. But at the same time, it'll be a big deal. It's going to be a really big deal.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's it for the last week's boxing news.
I believe so, and I believe that's it for Soundoff 50. We're approaching 1 year, and this is the 50th episode, so we thank you guys for listening, as always, at Courtside Sound 1 on Twitter, which is the main place where we post all of our news and all the stuff relating to the podcast. Instagram, Courtside Soundoff. Facebook, Courtside Soundoff. YouTube, I haven't been able to do the clips as of late due to work and school. So I've been a little bit busy, but I'll try and hop back on that, if not this week or next week. So I'll get around to it, though. Don't worry, those will be back, because I know it's done such a big thing in growing our channel and growing our fan base. But once again, thank you guys for listening as always, and peace and butt grease. Mouse click.